I'm in the propagation nursery little berry patch looking at some berries. I wanted to show you the difference between a cultivar of red raspberry and the native ones that are indigenous to this region. So there's a lot going on right here, so it might be hard to make out, but this right here is red raspberry canes. This is a Caroline cultivar, and it produces, they're so heavy that they're just falling down, but it produces really large. I mean, these are very large berries. It's not quite ripe, but look at the size of that. They're almost small strawberry sized. And here, this one is a little smaller, but it's totally ripe. And this is a Caroline variety, and I cut them to about 4 feet, but it doesn't look like it because of all the new growth that they have. But anyway, I just kind of want to show you the growth habit here. This is a mostly thornless variety. There's little tiny prickles, but they don't hurt. I would consider this to be somewhat thornless. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one. I'm gonna pick a few more. They have a very upright growth habit if they can be supported. And I think it's really nice to be able to pick the fruit up here like this. But if they're leaning, they just lay flat to the ground like these have. So here's an example of fruit size. They're quite large. They're almost an inch wide for the most part. And so this is a late summer, early fall bearing variety. And you can see it's very vigorous growth and it's very easy to manage. And there's almost no thorns on them, and the seeds are medium sized. They're still here, but they're not very large. And so you can see here, this is the Caroline. It's got a slightly bluish tint to the leaves, and the leaves are deep green. But right here, this is the native thornless red raspberry. It has tiny prickles, but they're not very big. Has a bit of a golden bronze color to the new leaves, and a little bit of red hue on some of the leaves and on some of the stems. This is not a good example, but you can see it's got berry clusters here. The berries are about 1/3 the size. They can get bigger than this, but they're typically half the size or so. Over here is a little bit better of an example. These berries are getting pretty ripe now. I'm going to pick a few and do a size comparison. Size comparison between the two. Cultivated are actually much larger. Now we're going to do a taste test. Cultivated first. Pretty good. I think they're slightly underripe, whereas I think these are. Small seeds, crunchy seeds, pretty chewy, nice texture, like strong iconic raspberry flavor. Let's try the native variety. Wow. You know what? First impression is the native variety has the cultivated ones beat. I think it's mostly a function of how ripe they were, but that's a quick comparison between the two.